A shimmy is one of the 3 core components of pressure in Street Fighter 6. And today I want to go over everything you need to know about what a shimmy is, how it can effectively be used in pressure, and how you can start implementing it into your gameplay right after watching this video. So without further ado, let's get right into it. So let's first go over what a shimmy is. A shimmy is nothing more than essentially choosing to not take your turn on your own offense. What do I mean by that? So essentially when you like throw somebody, usually you would try to go for another scenario here of either striking or throwing him. And then you would see like right here, he would just tech the throw. And in another case where we would go for a button right here, you would also just be able to block that, right? And then ODDP or so like whatever afterwards is a counter. So as you can see, no matter what we do here, if somebody has solid defense, or rather if somebody is delayed tech throwing you, so like choosing to delay a throw so they would be blocking strike and throw at the same time, we have to shimmy our opponent in order to open them up. Just like that. So we walk forward, like initiate like, okay, we're gonna go for a strike for a mix-up, then walk backwards in order to punish him for trying to expose us for that. And then we just do our best combo that we can in this case for any character, and we just go from there. What does shimmy actually beat? What are all of the options that shimmy beats? So number one is a regular throw. If you were just to try to throw and wake up, obviously like this right here, you'll just be able to catch them. Number two is a delay tech throw. A delay tech throw is defensive option I just mentioned where you can block, strike, and throw at the same time. A reversal super or DP, so anything that's like an attack by itself. If we were to like walk forward and walk back here, you'll be able to block that and then do our best punish for it for our individual character. Also, another thing that it can beat, which is a little bit more unorthodox, not really the purpose, is jump. Because a lot of players in the corner are also very jump heavy, right? So because we're just walking back, we're not really using a button or anything, so we can just anti him for it. As an example right here, we're going to walk forward, walk backwards. You see them jumping, BDP them for it, right? So these are all the options that shimmy beats, which is why you can see why this is so strong, right? Like whenever our opponent basically tries to do anything to get out of the corner, shimmy just beats it straight up. So it's very, very good. And it's also a pretty low risk option by itself because you're not really doing anything. You're not trying to hit your opponent, right? You're trying to give them their turn back and be like, here you go ahead and do this, right? And then if they end up doing it, you can full punish them for it. So that begs the question now, when and where do we even use a shimmy in the first place? What are like the best applications for it? Number one is the most obvious one, which is right here in the corner. Because in the corner right here, there is no way for our opponent to just walk backwards or like walk anywhere, right? They have to get out of the corner no matter what. So they're going to be more likely to DP, jump, tech throw, backdash, anything like that really, right? Which will usually lead to just a full punish for us. So this is incredibly good whenever it's in the corner. The second one is during pressure. So if we were to actually like jab our opponent a couple of times here, they could also go for, let's say like a throw here or whatever, right? So if you walk backwards, you can full punish that as well. So that is also like another thing that's incredibly good. So like doing your own pressure, if you're just like pressing like a jab or a singular button, they could be likely to try to go for a throw because like you press a jab here and then try to go for a throw afterwards, correct? And they could just go for DP, super, tech throw, jump, whatever, essentially. And you're going to have to deal with those consequences. So if you have somebody who's like very mash heavy in general, this is like a very, very good option. And then another one is just in neutral by itself when your opponent is hesitant to press buttons. So like around like this crouching medium kick range, right? Like usually people are just likely to press buttons by itself. But let's say they're scared because they don't want to get whiff punished. This is something that can regularly occur at like a high level. They just don't want to get whiff punished. So things like jabs become a lot stronger, like walking forward and stuff like that. So walking forward here into throw range and then walking backwards to bait a throw, like so, very, very good, right? Because they're essentially forced to make a decision where it's like, well, do I want to tech the throw here or do I just have to hold it? Like, what is like the goal here of my opponent? So that's a way to like expose them for it, essentially. Another big tip for lower ranks that I will give you, so like if you're anywhere between rookie to like platinum, like even high platinum, I would suggest you guys to start shimmying a bunch when your opponent has low health. So if they have like around 10 to 20% health left, they are pretty likely to try to do anything, especially in burnout. They're extremely likely to try to throw out a super, try to throw out an EXCP if they can, because they want to get out. They're like in a flight or fight reaction, right? Where they have to choose something. So they'd rather choose something than nothing and be patient. They'd rather just be aggressive. So that's something that is incredibly good at lower rank, something just to remember. Okay, but shimmy is obviously an incredibly good option, right? So what does it actually lose to? Shimmies by itself, because of you walking back and forward, do actually end up losing to pretty much any low you throw at people. As an example right here, if I'm walking back and forth, I'll just straight up lose to this, right? I just straight up lose to like his sweep, and just crouching medium kicks in general like very strong against shimmies because they can just turn an entire situation around. And then another thing that shimmies lose to are actually command grabs in this game, such as Zangief, Lily, and Manon. So if I were to try to go for shimmy here after a throw, and he knows I want to go for shimmy, I just get straight up command grabbed here and take 3,300 damage. Extremely good. And also for Zangief in particular, if he goes for level 3, I'm also completely cooked. I can't do anything there because you cannot jump or do anything. So like for Zangief, shimmying is not really the best option to use against him. However, there is direct counterplay towards command grabs, which is an advanced shimmy. An advanced shimmy is essentially, instead of walking back and forward, you would actually jump. So if they were to go for a throw or a command grab, you can beat that. As you can see right here, and then you can go for your full punish, whatever you would like to do with your character, right? You do have to be mindful though, because some DPs and certain supers can clip you for jumping here, so this isn't just like the safest option to do. It is a riskier shimmy, essentially, but also the reward is much higher because you can get your air attack, right? You can get like an air move into pretty much like a full combo, essentially. Now the question is, how do we actually practice the shimmy? So for this one, I would like you to pick Guile and whichever character you main. You can also start with Cammy because she has fast walk speed, so you can practice like a shimmy like over and over. But I would just recommend just pick your main character and then pick Guile. So we're gonna do that real quick. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're gonna put the opponent into the corner and set them to throw on wake up. However, we're gonna set them to throw on wake up delayed because of delayed tech throw. We want to get used to timing of a delayed tech throw. This will happen a lot. So we're gonna do normal throw. However, our delay settings right here is gonna be 6 frames. It's gonna be giving us just enough time to practice this. Then we're gonna start walking back and forth out of our opponent's throw range after wake up. And then we're just gonna visually like try to confirm like, okay, this has happened, and then try to punish it with whatever punish we have. In this case, I'm gonna use Cammy standing heavy punch because it combos into like a full combo for 2,500 damage. There are more optimal things you can do here, but this is like the easiest for me right now to just demonstrate. And after you've done that and you've gotten used to the timing of just like, okay, I'm gonna walk forward here, walk backwards here, punish this, I've gotten used to the timing. Next we're going to do is we're going to take it a level higher. So now what we're going to do is we're going to add do nothing, because we can't just like go out of our way and just throw our opponent, then see that like nothing happens, and then go for like a fully fledged combo like this right here, where we're going to be left in the open and can just get hit, because this right here has a gap, right? So our opponent could just jab, super, whatever during it. So that would be horrible for us. We don't want that. Instead, what we want is we want to visually confirm that a throw has occurred or a jump has occurred or anything, and then react accordingly and punish it. So as a quick exercise drill, nothing, nothing, punish. See? That's essentially it. This is what we're going for. This is the next level. And then as a final step, we're going to add reversal super. In this case, I'm going to choose ODDP, does the same job. The reason why we're going to go for this in particular is we also want to practice fully comboing when somebody does a DP on us or a super or whatever, right? So like if they were to do this in this case, we make sure we walk back enough so we could also confirm against that in particular. And also as an extra tip for anybody who wants to be a shimmying expert, I would actually suggest you to, whenever you're walking back and forth, as soon as you're out of the throw range, just immediately crouch block. And the reason why you want to immediately crouch block is because you can avoid the delayed crouching medium kicks or even just laggy sweeps, which technically do be the shimmy, to punish them for it afterwards, which is like, oh, you messed up here, you did it too slow, you were too hesitant, I can punish you now for it, or I can like push you back into the corner or anything like that. So if you want to implement the shimmy in your game plan, the best course of action you should do is whenever you feel hopeless, quote unquote, against your opponent's defense and struggle to open them up, that's when a shimmy is good, because you know they're most likely going to go for a delay tech throw, jump, DP, anything like that. Whenever you feel hopeless, you're like, I just can't open this guy up, shimmying is a very, very good option. And the more options you present your opponent, the harder it is for them to defend properly. They will just start messing up at the end. And yeah, that's pretty much it for today's video. If you want to watch more guides like this, I'm currently in the process of uploading a ton of them, so make sure to subscribe. And if you're looking for personalized coaching, first link in the description, and I hope you have an amazing day. Have a good one. Bye.